Hey y'all, it's Eli. I'm back in Florida now. I brought some of this Benton's country ham back down here with me. So today, I'm gonna fry up some of this Benton's country ham. I'm also gonna make some homemade biscuits, and I'm gonna show you guys how to make a ham and cheese omelet. So let's get started. First, my grandmother did this, so I'm gonna do it. She would take the country ham out of the package, and she would let it sit in some cold water. She'd do it overnight. I'm just gonna do it till I get these biscuits done. That'll help get rid of some of the saltiness. Unless you're into something very salty. Don't need to soak it, but I'm going to soak it. So to start on our homemade biscuits, I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour here. You can use self-rising flour, you can skip the baking soda, the baking powder, and the salt. But I just always use all-purpose because you can use it in everything. So I've got a sifter here with 3 cups of all-purpose flour in it. I'm just going to sift this out. That's going to give us a really smooth batter for a really great biscuit. When you get all the flour through your little strainer, you might have a few lumps. You can just press those in and then sift them through as well. So now that our flour is sifted, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of sugar, 2.5 teaspoons of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to mix this up real quick with a fork. To this, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of Crisco shortening. What we're going to do next is called cutting the shortening in. I've just got a really big fork here. They have biscuit cutters, pastry cutters with like a bunch of little wires on it. I don't have one of those, so a fork will work just as good. All you're going to do is just press it around into the flour until you've got this shortening all combined with the flour. Should take a minute, minute and a half, and you're going to have little pieces about the size of peas. That's when you know to stop. So I've been cutting about a minute and a half. You can see the consistency of the flour is not flour anymore. It's crumbly, about the size of peas. So every bit of flour in here has touched some shortening. That's going to make some really moist biscuits that are crumbly. To this, we're going to add 1 cup of buttermilk. Very important to use buttermilk. This gives a deep flavor, kind of wangy. Mix this up until the milk has touched all the flour and it's kind of making it stick together. Now if you look at our flour, it is not just plain flour anymore. Now it's starting to turn into a dough. There's no dry flour in there. Everything's sticking together. I'm going to flour my work surface here, my cutting board. This is going to keep it from sticking to the cutting board. Now just roll your dough out. Get some flour on your hands. Sprinkle it on the top. Now just press it together. You want to make a dough, you don't want to knead this too much and make dense, hard biscuits. We're just going to fold it together 8 to 10 times. We really don't want to push all the air out of this batter, but we want to make it stick together so it creates a biscuit. Add more flour if you need it. This is going to remain a little bit sticky. I think that looks perfect. It's thick, it's airy, it's all mixed together. Now all you need to do is pat it out to about a ½ inch thick. So they have these things called biscuit cutters. It's just a little round piece of metal with a handle on it. You can definitely use that if you've got it. My grandmother used to use the top of a glass, so I'm just going to use the top of a glass. We're going to be making pretty big biscuits today. These are called Cathead Biscuits in my neck of the woods, so probably get 5 or 6 out of it. We got 5 perfect biscuits here, y'all. It's perfect consistency. Don't waste the extra batter that you have left over, the extra dough. Get it? Pull it all together. You can either mash this out and make more biscuits, or you can just roll it up into a couple of balls, which is what I'm going to do. Make like dinner rolls. Dinner rolls. So I've got just a cookie sheet with some aluminum foil on it. I've sprayed the floor with non-stick spray. I'm going to set these biscuits right on it. I'm going to let them touch. If you let them touch, that gives you some nice soft sides. I'm not really a fan of super crunchy biscuits, so I'll just make them close. There you have it on a cookie sheet. You can also cook these in a cast iron skillet. If you do that, you just need to preheat it with some butter on the oven, because that needs time to get hot. The cast iron will all be uniformly hot. And if you use a cast iron skillet instead of an aluminum pan, makes your biscuits darker. I'm not really sure why, but I'm not a fan of dark biscuits, so I'm using aluminum foil. I've had the oven preheating to 425 degrees. I'm going to stick these in 15 minutes. I'm going to check them. But before I do that, I'm going to do the last step, which is add some melted butter. How did I almost forget the butter? Be as generous as you want here. Okay, y'all. Now these are ready to go in the oven. I'll check them in 15 minutes. So for the ham, y'all, it's been sitting in water for about 15 minutes. Gonna help pull some of that salt out. If you want to cut it into smaller pieces, you definitely can do that. I'm just gonna put it in this hot cast iron skillet. I've had it on the stove heating up. Kind of hard to know when country ham is done. It's just, you're gonna know with your heart. Maybe 8 or 10 minutes. I'll put it in the recipe how long it takes for sure. So I'm gonna take this over to the stove, start frying it up. In the meantime, we'll be working on our omelet. So for our omelets, y'all, I'm gonna make a 4-egg omelet. So I'm just gonna start by cracking 4 eggs into a large bowl. y'all put your eggshells back in the carton when you're finished with them. I've always done that since I was a little boy. The chickens in the chicken coop actually used to eat the eggshells from the eggs that we ate. I don't know. I guess that's just nature. So I've got 4 eggs in here. We're going to season these with salt and pepper. So the secret to a delicious fluffy omelet is just to beat the heck out of it. You're going to take a strong whisk. This whisk is probably older than I am. I'm going to beat these omelets and incorporate a lot of air into them, as much air as I can. First I'm going to go flip our country ham because it's been about 4 minutes. That country ham looks and smells awesome. So I'm just going to beat these till my arm gets tired. Make large strokes coming up out of the eggs and back down in them. Just do it as long as you can. You'll know when there's a lot of really small micro bubbles in there. So I hope y'all can see all the bubbles that are in this mixture. It's very fluffy. It's not just plain eggs anymore. So I'm making a ham and cheese omelet. I've got some diced ham here. I've got some mild cheddar cheese. I'll shred it. Maybe half a cup. I like a cheesy omelet. So a lot of people add milk to their eggs. I don't actually do that. It makes them a little bit tough and chewy in my opinion. So add a secret ingredient. I know all of y'all have it. Water. Just a splash of water. I'm going to incorporate that in with the eggs. Beating the far out of them the whole time. Now let's move over to the stove. While we're over at the stove, the country ham looks and smells awesome. The timer just went off on our biscuits. Let's pull them out. Whoa! Look at them biscuits. See how pretty they are? They're not burnt. They're not hard. They're airy. So like I was saying, it's kind of hard to tell about your country ham when it's done. You can see the color it's got on it. Hopefully. It's been going about 7 minutes now. I'm going to flip it over again. I am cooking it in a cast iron skillet. I'm going to throw in the rest of my ham, let this cook up about 4 minutes per side like the other. So I'm going to flip this country ham in about 2 minutes. Like I said, it's hard to tell, you just kind of know. These pieces are smaller than the other ones. You don't want to burn it. So we'll go 2 more minutes on that side. And then we're going to start on the omelet. So I'm going to set the country ham off to the high before the timer's up because this cast iron pan is going to stay really hot. So I'm going to start on our omelet and then I'm going to take that country ham out of that skillet. So I've got the rest of the melted butter. I think I melted about 4 tablespoons of butter for the biscuits. I'm going to pour the rest of this in here for the omelet. Get this skillet hot. So if you're like me and you have a million things going on at once, your bubbles probably fell out of your eggs. Mine did. So I'm going to beat them again. Once you've got your skillet hot and your butter all nice and toasty, throw in your meat, however much you want. I'll probably do about half of that. Let this brown up just a little bit, maybe 2 minutes. Our ham is getting nice and toasted up. Our fluffy eggs are going to go right on top of our butter and our ham. You want to put eggs and bacon. If you want to put eggs in your omelet, bacon, cheese, onions, peppers, things like that, you can definitely do that. So we're going to let it sit here for maybe a minute and a half. Let it cook on the bottom, and then we're going to come back and I'll show you how to make an omelet. So if y'all can see, we've got some wet egg on top and we've got some solid egg underneath. What we're going to do is take your flexible spatula, go around the edge, push under, and lean your pan. You're going to distribute the wet egg to go underneath and cook. All around the omelet. You want it to be as uniform as you can get. Same process, wait another minute for those to cook, and then keep doing that until your egg is all done. When you've got your egg mostly finished, top it with cheese. As much cheese as you want. Turn the heat off. Put a tight fitting lid on it. We're going to let this steam melt the cheese. Then we're going to fold it. So y'all can see our cheese is almost completely melted. Underneath is totally melted. So what you're going to do is carefully take your flexible spatula, go under the side again, as far under it as you can get, and fold it in half. Oh, that ham is making beautiful spots on the omelet. So there you have it. That is a delicious, easy ham and cheese omelet. Y'all, these Cathead biscuits turned out awesome. They are brown. They smell so good. They're fluffy, airy. They're not dense. Our country ham turned out really good too. Got some country ham on a biscuit here beside my delicious ham and cheese omelet. It's so cheesy, look at the cheese running up. Let's see, I'll taste the omelet first. Oh. I think I might have more cheese than egg, but whoever complained about that, it's delicious. Alright, I got some of this Benton's country ham on this homemade Cathead biscuit. That's perfect. Y'all, this country food has been so much fun to make. It takes me back to when I was a little boy, which was not too many years ago. Definitely enjoy making it. It's not hard to make an omelet. I know a lot of people are really scared off by it, but just do what I did. Take it slow. You have to have a spatula that bends. That's really the secret. And very light and fluffy eggs. If you want a fluffy omelet, which I love fluffy omelets. So hopefully you guys will try that delicious omelet recipe. You can definitely make any variation of that with ground beef, chicken, pork, steak, anything like that. Any combination of vegetables, spinach, peppers, onions. I just kept it simple with some ham and cheese, and it turned out awesome. So I'm gonna go eat this. If you guys make this, let me know. And if you guys make those easy biscuits, let me know. Definitely not something to be scared off by either. Hey y'all, it's Eli. Whether you're here for my hair, my accent, or my cooking, please make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching Cooking for Everybody. Now everybody get cooking.